If you're planning to walk the Inca Trail or visit Machu Picchu, you'll likely end up spending at least a few days in Cusco. With its lively square, quirky museums, artisans markets, and traditional performances, this is exactly the type of destination you'll want to linger in. Plus, let's not forget, it's also a good place to adjust to the altitude. The following video will showcase 15 things to do in Cusco. Cusco Cathedral is a place you shouldn't miss. The cathedral sits on the site of Viracocha Inca's palace, and it was also built using blocks from the nearby Inca site of Sacsayhuaman. Inside, you'll find impressive works of art done in the Cusqueña style. We've been walking around town and we came across this fine example of Inca architecture. If you take a look at this wall right next to me, you can see how they've placed the stones so that there isn't even a crack in between each of them. And apparently we haven't tried this, but you can try and stuff a sheet of paper and it won't even fit because the stones just sit on top of each other perfectly. So that's pretty cool. There's a joke that my tour guide told me last time I visited Cusco, and basically he said there's a section of wall that was built by the Incas, and that's what you can see behind me, but there's also a section of wall that was built by the Incapables, or the Spaniards, and you can see that over here, and it's quite obvious that the stones don't really interlock quite the way the Incas were able to make them.
In the evenings, you can go watch a traditional dance performance at Centro, Qosqo.
San Blas is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Cusco, and it is a great area to explore on foot. The neighborhood is known for its bright blue doors and window shutters, and it has a nice little square with a church and a water fountain. The neighborhood has some really cool lookout points with great panoramic views of Cusco, so you'll want to bring your camera. This afternoon is a bit of a shopping afternoon, and we're at the Qurikancha market. They have lots of really cool crafts and clothes and really great souvenirs. So I did a bit of shopping and I'm going to show you
Sure did.
my purchase because I'm pretty happy with it. Look at this nice little alpaca sweater.
And show us the hat too.
Really warm for when we walk the Inca Trail.
Show us the hat.
And we got some cool hats as well.
And you've got to try it on, of course.
Oh no.
Try it on.
But it's gonna look silly.
You are silly though.
But I have a big bun right now.
Oh yeah. Let's zoom in for that. Come on, smile.
We're going to be trying some traditional food from Cusco. So we've placed our order and we're waiting for our food to arrive. I'm not entirely sure what to expect because I've never really tried food from this region. We've been eating light meals since we got to Cusco just because we're trying to deal with the altitude sickness. So yeah, this is our first day that we're ready for a big hearty meal. So until the meal arrives, you've got some nice bread rolls in your hand.
Yeah, these were freshly baked in the oven and I can't wait to try them. We have 2 different kinds of spicy sauces. They're both called ají sauces. So let's take a look down here and we're gonna dunk it in. Actually, there's spoons, so I can do it a little more civilized, I suppose. And I'll put a bit of red and a bit of green. Why not? Let's try that.
Is that burning your mouth? Is your mouth on fire at the moment?
I'm tasting more of the sauce than the bread, but the bread is good. It's melting in my mouth.
And it was made in the oven right behind you.
Right over there.
Right over there.
Fancy.
So my meal has arrived. I ordered a soup and I'm having something called chairo cusqueño. And if you have a look down over here, it's basically a soup with lamb and Andean grains. I'm not sure what kind of grains those would be. Kind of looks like barley. There might be some quinoa in there. I don't really know, but it's really hearty and you can see it has potatoes and carrots and celery and it looks really, really good. So let's try it. Oh wow. That's like a nice, thick, flavorful soup. Can't really tell what these little green leaves are. Wonder if it's parsley or cilantro. But it's really nice. I like that it has a thick texture because of the potato that breaks apart, and then you obviously have the grains and the meat. I still haven't tried the meat. Here's my lamb. So yeah, that is really nice. It's the kind of dish you want to order on a really cold day to warm you up. I like that it's served in a nice cute little bowl. You can warm up your hands. I'm a little bit chilly in case you can't tell. So yeah, good soup. And you ordered something called pachapapa, and we're not entirely sure if that's the name that the restaurant gave to the meal or if that's really what the meal is called in this in this part of Peru.
We have no idea. We just came to this restaurant, ordered it on a whim, and so what I'm thrilled about is if we take a look at my plate, is that I've got a lot of different stuff going on. I've got a salad, I've got the meat, I've got the tamale, I've got potatoes covered in cheese, and I have some kind of stuffed pepper. But being the carnivore that I am, I think I will try the meat first.
And can you tell us what kind of meat this is? Because it's not beef.
Yeah. It is alpaca meat.
Alpaca, indeed.
Yeah. So, pretty special.
So, dig in. I've never tried alpaca before. Does it taste like beef? Chicken or fish?
It tastes something like kind of in between chicken and beef. This particular cut is really tender and has a lot of seasonings on it, so it's quite good. It's not as gamey as I thought it would be. Alright, time to try my tamale.
And the tamale is made with corn, yellow corn. What's in there? What's in there?
That's one of the best tamales I've ever had. I think it's got
cheese?
Yeah, it's got cheese in there.
Oh my, I'm getting
That is
food envy all of a sudden.
so good. You better hope I share with you.
Okay, so my kind husband is willing to share the stuffed pepper, which I was told has beef and vegetables and melted cheese on top. So let's take a good chunk since he's in the mood to share.
It's not so much I'm in the mood to share, I'm just not sure if I can eat it all myself.
That's like ground beef. And man, that's actually spicy. My tongue is on fire right now. But it's tasty, obviously, because I'm still chewing. Yeah, nice. I like that you have a very full plate and you get to sample a little bit of everything.
So we tried to make this as authentic of a meal in Cusco as we possibly could. So I got my Cusqueña beer.
Cusco Museum, which is a bit unusual. It's not exactly a museum in the sense that you walk around and look at pisco bottles or anything like that. It's more like a bar, and you come here to drink pisco. So we've just placed our order and we're waiting for our drinks to arrive. So they had a special happening at the bar, so we've ordered 4 glasses of chilcanos, which are made with pisco, ginger ale, and a few drops of bitter. And we were able to choose different flavors. So we have strawberry, cinnamon, this is a classic, and this one is the one that you like. What is that, licorice?
Anise.
Anise. All right, let's start drinking. Okay, so first up, the classic. That's good, okay. I can taste the alcohol, but it's not so strong that it's like burning my throat. It's like a nice summery drink. Very good. Bottoms up for Samuel Jeffrey.
Yeah, and I'm trying one of my favorite ones, anise, so I have high expectations.
High expectations, he said.
And unlike your strawberry, the anise is strongly flavorful here.
Ooh, that means I would not like it.
That means I won't be sharing this one at all.
And now for a sip of the strawberry. Doesn't have a strong strawberry flavor. I don't know if they've added like a syrup or if it's natural fruit. I mean, there's one little piece of strawberry in there, but I don't think that's flavoring the whole glass. Yeah, a nice girly drink.
And the last one for me to try here is cinnamon flavored. Okay, that one's not nearly as strongly as flavored, so anise for the win.
Plaza de Armas is the beating heart of Cusco. The square is flanked by a Jesuit church and cathedral, and there are also plenty of bars, restaurants, and tour agencies around the perimeter. During the day, you'll find locals and tourists hanging out in the square, and if you get lucky, you might just encounter a performance followed by a demonstration like we did.
The Inca Museum is one of the main museums in town, and it has rooms dedicated to different periods of Inca and Spanish history. You can also see women weaving rugs and tapestries by hand in the central courtyard. Somehow ended up at the Chocolate Museum in Cusco. It's very small, but you can learn the history of how chocolate is made and the whole process. And they also have like these little beans. Apparently that's what cocoa beans look like. Who knew? I'm kind of hoping they have chocolate that we can sample somewhere, but I hadn't come across that yet. Fingers crossed. So did you get to try any chocolates?
No free samples, but they have a cool place in the store where you can purchase chocolate, and they also have a cafe as well.
And they have lots of interesting flavors, like there's spicy chocolate, cinnamon chocolate, coca leaf chocolate, a bit of everything.
If you have any chocolate lovers in your family or as amongst friends, definitely a good gift to pick up here.
Great souvenir. Qurikancha was an Inca temple built to the sun god Inti, and it is believed that the walls of this temple were once covered in sheets of gold. If the temple looks like it has various layers of construction, that's because when the Spaniards arrived, they demolished the original temple and used the foundations to build the church of Santo Domingo on the site.
The Church of the Society of Jesus is a historic Jesuit church. It's worth a quick visit if you're in the area.
So time to spew off a few facts about guinea pig.
Yeah, so the cuy is something we've been wanting to try for a while now. It is one of the most traditional Peruvian foods you can possibly get. It originates from the Andes, it's a rodent, and apparently the meat is very high in protein and low in cholesterol.
So it's healthy for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would have known?
This is a perfect meal to have just before our hike to Machu Picchu.
Yeah. So another fun fact, because I know you guys really like those, is that if you visit Cusco Cathedral, once you go inside, you'll see that there's a painting of Jesus and the 12 disciples enjoying their Last Supper, and guess what they're eating? It's a guinea pig, and it's lying on its back with its little paws up in the air. So, if guinea pig is good enough for Jesus and his disciples, we can certainly eat it while we're in Cusco.
And they were kind enough to let us go take a look at how it's being cooked and prepared. So let's go walk over and check out the wood fire burning oven.
Just over there, just over there. That's where our cuy is being made. Dinner has arrived, and I'm trying not to look at the guinea pig in the face because it kind of reminds me of my sister's two pet chinchillas. But there it is on the plate, and it comes with a few sides. So if you look down here, you can see that we have some golden potatoes, some fried yellow potato actually, and we have a little salad, and we also have a stuffed pepper with cheese melted over top. So yes, I guess the next step is to dig into our cuy. So our server has kindly chopped up the cuy because we didn't really know where to begin, and apparently you have to eat this with your hands.
Yes, so I'm gonna grab just a chunk here, and it's time for the first bite.
Is that like the back? Kind of hard to
Good.
tell.
Wow, the meat's quite tender. You know what? It tastes a lot like chicken. If I didn't know what I was eating, I would have guessed it was chicken.
That's good to know. Makes me feel a little better about taking my first bite. I think I have the back and the hind leg. I'm just taking little nibbles. Aww.
How's it taste?
It's like stringy, chewy chicken. Yeah, like it even looks like chicken, like the dark meat on a chicken. So you could fool me, but I've seen the whole guinea pig on the plate. So now I know what I'm having, and you just kind of have to get over that because it does make a bit of an impression on you, especially if you have chinchillas for pets because they just look so similar.
So moving on, we're kind of, taking a bite of its midsection here.
Okay.
So what you really notice about when you have guinea pig is that the skin is really crispy, but the meat inside is quite tender.
And
I actually like it.
We're also noticing that there are some organs and bones and
Yeah, like it's
strange things inside our cuy.
it's very much cooked as it is, and you eat it as it's presented.
Yes.
That is how you have cuy in Peru.
Except you're using cutlery instead of your hands. You have it all wrong.
Right. That's right.
So now the verdict. If you saw cuy on a menu, would you order it again?
I'm not necessarily sure I would, just because it is a bit expensive, and I think that if you were to have something like chicken or something, you might get a little bit more meat. But I'm really glad I tried it. It tasted, honestly, better than I expected. And if you're in Peru, definitely try it though, at least once. And your final verdict?
Well, it didn't taste bad, but that being said, I'm not sure I would eat it again. I just don't like seeing the whole animal on my plate, and I know that's kind of silly to say because I do eat meat, I do eat fish, so it doesn't make sense to just eliminate guinea pig, but yeah, not for me, not for me. Templo de la Merced is another church located 1 block from Plaza de Armas, and it contains the tomb of 2 famous conquistadors. Nighttime here in Cusco, and it's time for a drink. What are you sipping on?
Just sipping on my pisco sour, enjoying the nightlife here in Cusco.
Looks like a good drink.
And that's a wrap for Cusco. We hope you enjoyed this video and that it showed you a few of the places you can visit while you're in the city. We recommend spending at least 3 days here, or perhaps a few more if you also want to tour the Sacred Valley. As always, if you have any suggestions of things to do in Cusco, feel free to share those in the comments below.